Here are your hosts, the Schnitzel Boys.
All right, cool. So now I want to share the second part of my video, which is where I talk about national broadcasters, which we can talk about for a second. Then I have a list of like others, like honorable mentions and others from other sources that I would be into. All right, let me bring this back up. Where are you? And there we go. And other talent.
Rodriguez. Oh, beautifully done. Smooth, sweet, guided into the bottom corner. Kamara throwing his body in. It's going to fall for Ibrahimovic. Oh, come on! Come on!
Oh, come on!
Oh, come on!
That was Ibrahimovic's great goal on his debut over LAFC. So those are our two main national guys, John Champion with ESPN and John Strong with FS1. For me, they're both fine. They're both good. And they tie. I couldn't tell you which one I like better. They're both different. Like John Strong is the more American, come on! And John Champion is the proper British one. Yeah. Well, you'd have a very good game today. You know what I mean? So they both do what they do.
I also like them both. Yeah, I think, John Champion, despite being English, which, I'm not going to hold against him, but it's not his fault. But yeah, he is very, very sharp and just sort of there's a poetry to him, like he can really especially last year there were all these NYCFC playoff dramatic moments that I replayed over and over, and John Champion, he really has a way of making these calls special and not saying the same thing and just having I like him. John Strong, I want to like a lot. I wish he would just talk like 20% less. Like he just is such he so overloaded with facts and backstory and it gets too much for me. I like his energy. I like the way that he this is John
Strong. This is John Strong. It's like he passes the guy, go down the road. But so-and-so over there from Clemson, funny story, his younger brother's also now at Clemson as well. And they're saying it's the same playing style as well. And his mother bakes cookies from at Clemson with her coach, who's now the assistant coach at Clemson. And now on the other side of the, you know what I mean? Like he shoves quick stories in there.
Exactly. And it's like, who
cares?
Cool. I mean, it's cool conceptually, but it's just too much. Like I think just 20% less and it would be great. I love all his little mannerisms. I like his halftime thing about 45 down, 45 to go.
Right. He's creating a style.
Yeah. He has a little bit of that sort of Pacific Northwest earnestness that I don't quite connect with 100%, but I like it.
As a German, you don't? Okay, cool. So that's my nationals. I guess we're on the same page. They're not perfect, but they're pretty fine. They're pretty dang fine. Now I have a list of other. I know you're going to hate one of these guys because we already disagreed over it.
All right.
This is my list of other.
For the World Cup finals, he's played a season in Israel. Spent the bulk of his career in Liga MX. Madran, here's the ball. Aliseda for the fire, takes the deflection and in! Ignacio Aliseda!
So that's Arlo White. I love Arlo White. Also now that he's the voice of what's-it-face, Ted Lasso. It's a shame he's off to Saudi Arabia Gulf.
Yeah,
I think he would be a great national voice.
He took the money. He took the Saudi Arabia money.
What do you think of Arlo White? I know he's British, but are you?
No, I think he's great. No, I think I like him a lot, actually. Yeah,
I'm pro Arlo. When Seattle hired him from BBC, it was a great gift from Seattle.
That's all over now.
Yeah.
He's famously refused Real Madrid to go to Barca and then named his son Jordi. Magic. Out wide, Neymar tucks it in, and he's on the board. What a way to start his Classico career.
The Brazilian pounces, and it's a beautiful goal. And he knows it. Marcelo knows. Bringing Neymar to a footballing match. It's like bringing a gun to a knife fight.
Boom. Phil Shane, Ray Hudson. I love those guys. I would love if they were MLS broadcasters. Phil Shane, once an ESPN MLS broadcast. Phil Shane did the play-by-play for the first ever MLS game on ESPN. He's got a great American voice, and I know you think Ray Hudson's over the top. I love how much Ray Hudson is the way he is. I love that team. I want them to be on national MLS broadcasts. Bring up Phil and Ray. Hire Phil and Ray.
All right.
That would be my thing. I mean, what do you think of Phil, at least? Phil Shane.
Yeah, I don't know that I've heard him enough. Maybe I think it's a little bit before my time as far as MLS is concerned. But yeah,
he just does La Liga. Like, he's been in Miami for a long time. His story is his wife became a lawyer or went to law school or something and followed her to Miami and just became a local play guy down there and was on Gold TV for many years and then Be in Sports and then 3 different channels. He just does all the Miami stuff. He's not doing Inter Miami right now. I don't know why they didn't hire him, but Ray Hudson is. And he does all the La Liga stuff for Be in Sport, and he's their host. Like, he hosted a great little show about American soccer, about Pro Rel and things like that. You know, I just think he's a great American voice, and it'd be nice if we could utilize him in this new deal. That's just me. Okay, and moving on. And the legend.
Howard gratefully claims it. Distribution, brilliant. Landon Donovan. There are things on here for the USA. Can they do it here? Cross, and Dempsey is denied again. And Donovan has scored. Oh, can you believe this? Go, USA! Certainly through. Oh, it's incredible.
Oh, that's incredible.
Oh,
Ian
I
Dark,
mean, his voice is forever etched into my brain for his call of the 2014 World Cup final.
Right.
Of course, you know, it's got Super Mario.
He's funny. In Britain, he's a professional, but he's like Martin Tyler and John Thompson, not John Monson. There are big legends in Britain. Ian Dark isn't one of them. Ian Dark's just good. He's just good over there. But here in the States, he's done so well for. He also did the 2014, like it's John Brooks. He's in our intro. It's John Brooks. You know, I love Ian Dark. I would love for someone to convince him to move here to Miami and be an MLS play-by-play guy. That would be great. Big fan of Ian Dark. And then someone I forgot on this list is my love for Derek Ray, who you love less. Than
Derek Ray, who I like.
Right.
Yeah, his like he's sort of very ostentatiously correctly pronounces all German words, which sort of irks me a little bit. And then he has like these, he has like his half dozen facts about Bochum that he busts out every time. He's
a
Germophile.
Fine.
He's fine. You know, he's great. I mean, I'm nitpicking. Plus, we're supposed to give love, and here I am like poo-pooing everybody. But
what I will say is a lot of the Bundesliga guys are good, and I also like a lot of the EPL guys. Like, what's his name, Richard Perry or something, or Peter Drury is really good. Like, I like those guys.
There's also a lot of, the EPL guys. There's a lot of people that irk me there as well. Who are it's like just sort of.
So this leads to a second topic: the British voice. I think we're of two minds about this. I've been all over the place. My turning point. I used to be very against it. I wanted just Americans, just JP Delacameron, Joe Tollison, guys like that. Also, shout out to Tommy Smith as an analyst. JP and Tommy Smith used to.
Oh, Tommy Smith is. I mean, he's.
I love Tommy Smith.
Funny, yeah.
Tommy, that's Smith with a Y. He's a New Yorker with an Irish accent. He's been here since the '60s. Love Tommy Smith. However, I recently or a year or two ago, I was like, you know what? As Americans, we should be lucky that we speak the same language as those that invented the sport. You know, like certain things come with tradition, and there's nothing older than a British. As far as soccer goes, there's nothing older than a British play-by-play guy. Like, they're the first ones to do it. They're the first guys to broadcast the sport. Just a British voice comes with the sport. You know, everyone else changed it up. Like the Latin American community really took it and went goal, and they made their own way of doing it, which I love too. Shout out to all the great Spanish commentators. I love watching MLS in Spanish. It's very exciting. But so we live in this country where we speak the same language, and the British voice as a tradition can just come with it, you know. And just like how I'm sure tennis and golf has plenty of Aussies and Brits doing commentary there. Like soccer, we're allowed to have the British voice because we understand it. So that sort of turned me on to the British voice more, if that makes sense. So now I'm more okay with the British voice than maybe I used to be. But it's also just an American thing. Like British actors, every time a British person speaks, we think it's Shakespeare, even if it could be their country dialect. Right, I gotta go to the shit and have the shit house. And we're like, wow, Shakespeare, which is not what it is.
So sophisticated.
So sophisticated. I get that aspect of it. I get that as Americans. Like, can I have more cream with that? Oh, baby, that's a goal. Score. Oh, you toe slapped in that PK. We're going to have a couple in the red zone. We're going to have a couple of 20-minute periods. What a toe slapper. Anyway, let's cut to the field and talk to the coach. Hey, coach, how are we going to turn this game around? We're losing, so it'd be cool if we were winning. So I'm going to try to put players on the field that sets us up to win, more intensity, more 100%. We give it 80%. Now we're going to try to round that up to 100%, 100%. Wow, thanks. Great words from the coach. Well, Bjorn, what do you think about the words from the coach, huh?
Fantastic.
Imagine Stewie as a play-by-play guy. Was I being Rex? Stewie from Family Guy, his voice is based on Rex Harrison, the voice of the man from, Pygmalion or My Fair Lady. What's it like? What's the famous line?
Oh, the enunciation, the guy, yeah.
It's, what is it? It's a privilege. I forget what's the thing. There's a famous line from My Fair Lady that escaped me right now, but you could also be the plains in Spain rain mainly in May. What's that line?
Right.
I'm all over the place.
The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. That's Rex Harrison, I believe. So that's Stewie's voice, and yeah, I think he'd be great at it.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this last week. My beef with the, it's just that this is just so automatic. It's like they all have to be English, and a lot of them, are not good at what they do, and they're just sort of, and there's the condescension that's often part of it, and it's like, okay, they invented the game, but I mean, come on, what have they done?
Yeah, they haven't revolutionized. Everybody else took it and did better with it.
Like 100%. all the major coaches in the Prem are from other countries. Right. It's not like there is and that's all fine. I mean, I think it just seems sort of lazy. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna get it. Oh, it's a soccer game. We're gonna get some British guy to announce it. Whoever it is.
I will say,
and I do like that ESPN is now having more German people for the Bundesliga, and for the World Cup in general. People are trying to be a little bit more diverse, and I think that's great. Listen, there's a lot of British announcers, and so by virtue of that, there's a bunch of great ones, and there's a bunch of mediocre ones, and there's a bunch of ones that I don't like. And I guess if we had a lot of Americans, that would be the same. It's just there's more of them, and so there's more to love and more to loathe.
In the 28 local broadcasters, I want to say 7 of them are British/Irish, and 21 of them were American.
Really?
So yeah.
I'm surprised.
Actually, let me look at my exact list. Me too. I thought it was a little bit different than that, but let me look at my exact list here because I did an analyst. Let's see. The Brits are Toronto, Minnesota, Seattle, Nashville, Austin with Adrian Healy, who also gets a little bit of a special mention to me. I'm fine with Adrian Healy. I'm not against Adrian Healy. And then Atlanta United has an Irish guy named Kevin Egan. Then Colorado Rapids have a guy named Richard Fleming. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 teams have British/Irish voices,
right.
And the rest are American/.
Well, and that's why the the Euro snobs are like, what is this? Somebody American?
Right, because most of them aren't. Yeah,
and
we talk about this. The Inter Miami guy, it speaks good English. It's Andres Cordero. He's also on CBS Sports, but I think he's an ESL. Clearly, his Spanish is his first language. And if you have a guy like that, like, set people up for success. Let the people who speak Spanish speak Spanish. Again, we talk about, like, 2018, they had this guy who was in English. It's soccer time. Like, he was just translating in Spanish. I'm like, I don't get that at all. It's like just I'll rather listen to Spanish.
I mean, and there are lots of course. I mean, it's just obvious just to say the obvious. There's lots of, Nico Cantor or whatever. There are lots of bilingual announcers who are perfectly fluent in English. You don't have to find. I mean, you don't need the guy with the massive accent.
Right,
who's sort of struggling for words. It's not like, there's lots of.
Like Sebastian Salazar is good at that.
For example.
He's got a good voice. He's American, but he's Mexican by background. So it's time for him to speak Spanish. It comes out great, But
there are lots of there's lots of right. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Are you? I guess it's a matter of taste. Like, do you want that? Is it for the flavor? Like, is it? Are you like sort of?
It is an inclusion thing. All of my list has been a bunch of white guys for the most part. Maybe Joe Totino is not that, and of course, a couple of the lady analysts we talked about are not. Yeah, that. Jordan and guys like and also Kobe Jones and Michael DeHood is an analyst in Austin. I think he does.
Michael DeHood is. There's some. Right. I mean, there's lots of. They're not all white. There's Charlie Davies. There's Moedu.
Right.
There's lots of.
Yeah. But again, that's the color commentator. I don't know why there's no where's our Gus Johnson? Remember when Gus Johnson was supposed to do soccer for a bit?
Oh yeah, interesting. What I mean,
experiment failed. Yeah, and then guys like Robbie Earl, and I used to do it back in the day. I just So there's that. I wonder if I'd be a good German American broadcaster. I wonder if I'd be able to give a good American voice. But then when it's time for me to speak German, I just give good German. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you would be the play-by-play guy.
VfL Bochum is in the back of the net. Yeah.
VfL Bochum.
VfL Bochum.
Derek Gray would say it. VfL Bochum. VfL Bochum in the Ruhrstadion. We are in the Ruhrstadion for VfL Bochum versus Borussia Mönchengladbach.
I'm okay with that. Where I'd be like, Borussia Mönchengladbach versus Borussia Dortmund. It's the showdown.
Dortmund.
The Kraut with Hout. I don't know. I feel like the WWE style.
The Kraut with Hout?
Yeah, I don't know what Hout is. Anyway, Hout is German for skin, but that makes no sense in English. Cool. So there's that. Other topic is studio guys. I really dislike Alexi Lalas, because he's just trying to be like a Fox News quick hot take America #1 style guide. I'm just not buying what he's selling. Like Jimmy Conrad once said, I don't buy what he sells. I like Jimmy Conrad. You know what studio team I really, really like that really, really worked for me, and is why I subscribed to them, was the Paramount Plus guys. Clint Dempsey should be a studio host. It's so fun. It's so American. It's so they captured the Charles Barkley, Shaq O'Neal NBA on TNT spirit so well with Clint Dempsey and Gooch and Moedu and Charlie Davies.
Yeah,
that's a good crew with that studio host I love, who's married to a German man. What's her name? She's beautiful.
Kate Abdo.
Kate Abdo. Who is British but speaks fluent German. She worked in Germany for years. She's a great host. Georgie Bingham. No, what's her name? Is Georgie Bingham the NBC hostess? She's great. No, Rebecca Lowe.
Rebecca Lowe. Yeah.
She's a great hostess. I think Max Brados would be a great host. Rob Stone, I'm okay with. He's been doing it for years. He used to be the play-by-play guy. He's kind of low on my list as far as that goes. But as far as Alexi Lalas, thumbs down, man. You can do better than that.
Alexi Lalas called us early last year to win MLS Cup, so he's got that going.
You have a special place in your heart.
In my book. Alexi Lalas also, there was a rumor at some point in the 90s that he was coming to Bochum, which also made him have a special place in my heart. I do not mind. I understand. I understand why people don't like him. I don't. Right. I'm not. But I think it's what I said. He very much kind of has this sort of lens of soccer as entertainment, as an entertainment business, and that's kind of the one sort of filter that he sees everything through. And it's kind of like I said before, he frames it he likes to frame it provocatively in order to get people stirred up and engaged. But really, a lot of the stuff he's saying is pretty trivial. It's not actual. I mean, he had a podcast for a while, and I listened to it. Like, he doesn't have a ton to say necessarily that's interesting. I think he's also another thing that I appreciate about him, same as Taylor Schwellman, actually. Like, they're both, sort of very generous with their time. They spend a lot of time on small soccer podcasts, and they really are genuinely trying to grow the game and put everything they have into that. So I respect that too. He's not I would sort of compare him favorably, I guess, to the like I said, the Warren Bartons and the Steve Nichols and who are really just cashing the check and kind of.
Again, I give Warren Barton a little more credit than that, but totally here with Stevie and Craig. Definitely.
I need to maybe
thumbs up.
Maybe I'm lumping him into something that I shouldn't. I need to pay more.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm missing it too. I also want to give a thumbs up to Marcelo Balboa. I think he's a great.
Oh yeah, totally.
His work.
Yeah.
Marcelo Balboa.
Very much so.
And there's a lot. I mean, we could still talk about Taylor Twellman versus Stu Holden.
I don't mind either of them, actually.
Yeah.
I think they're both fine. I think, again, Taylor Twellman also is very maligned. People get upset. But I think he has things to say that I'm interested in a lot of the time. When, unlike, I guess that's really, especially when it comes to analysts, with the play-by-play, it's about a voice and it's about kind of getting you excited, and with the analysts, for me, it's like, is this am I interested in what this person is saying at all? And a lot of the time I'm not. Like, a lot of the time I'm like, yeah, when people say, oh, he should have, like, this is sort of my most hated phrase in soccer, he should have scored.
Right.
He should have scored that.
Right.
He should have scored that.
Yeah,
and it's
human.
like,
right.
Well, and it's also, we have this information, XG, and, we know the percentages. We know how often these things go in, and it's not that often. Scoring goals is hard. So that immediately, like, you get some deductions in my book where you're like, oh, he should have scored, he should have scored that. It's like, so what do you think happened? Like, he just was like,
I'm going to skip it. Like, I'm going to miss today.
I'll just miss. I don't feel like, it's like they're not trying. Yeah. I mean, so, and a lot of analysis is just that. It's like this sort of retelling, this like alternate reality of like, well, this is really, this like sort of snotty, like, ugh. And it's you see this a lot from like ex-players who are like, I think it's just, to them, oftentimes you feel like it's just the circle of life, right? They took a lot of shit when they were playing, and now it's their turn to poo-poo the kids that are playing now, and it's payback time. So that stuff I don't like. So, and I think Taylor Twellman or Stu Holden are not in that category. I think they have things, and sometimes Stu Holden is a little goofier, and Taylor Twellman too. I don't always connect with their.
Taylor Twellman breaks good news a lot. He's on the pulse with that stuff. And what you want from an analyst is you want behind the scenes stuff. It's like, that behavior, that body language says this is what's going on in the locker room. An analyst can offer that. An analyst principally should be like with the substitutions. Like, okay, they're going on a 3-line back line because they're pushing a little higher, and that's going to be a little riskier for them. You know what I mean? Like, that's also an analyst's offer. They need to offer the risks to the audience of what's going on. They need to offer what the strategic idea of both these teams are, and maybe offer their thoughts on it too. That's really what an analyst is for. And if they can do that pretty competently, then I say, go on you. But that's why I like someone like Ray Hudson, who adds a little spice and loves the language and has an interesting voice. At the end of the day, you're performing, and a performer should have a nice, good, clear voice. Not like my mush mouth. Maybe Stefan will be a soccer broadcaster.
You have a fine voice.
Thank you.
Yes.
Welcome to the New York Red Bulls. I'm Stefan Schnitzel. We have a 30-game home unbeaten streak, and we're going to continue today against NYCFC, which is in crisis mode. They're in their fourth coach in 5 months, and they haven't won a game since 2021. So welcome to broadcast here on TikTok Sports, where we offer 5-minute snips of the game before you cut back to cat videos. Anyway, that's the future of sports. One last thought, though.
Please.
I love the American play-by-play color thing. That's a very American thing. Europeans don't, like the Brits do it now, I think, because they got it from us. But Germans don't do that. A German broadcast is
do.
one guy. Do they? With an analyst?
A lot of the time now, yeah.
In German?
Uh-huh. Yeah, they'll have somebody else. They'll have an expert. It's been like that for a while.
Is it? Usually when I watch games in Germany, it's just one guy, and he's kind of.
It can be either. I think, for example, the 2014 World Cup final, I think it was one guy.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, also, and this has been going on for a while, they'll have an ex-player, like a second person. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. But that's I like that style better. A lot of times I see in Germany, it's one guy, and a lot of times that guy is kind of boring. Like when I watch games in German, sometimes they're fine, but then sometimes I'm unimpressed.
Well, in Germany, they're like, if John Strong is on this end of the spectrum, your average German guy is like, they'll go like 3-4 minutes without saying anything,
right.
or just or just saying the name of the player who's got the ball. Like that can go on for a long time in Germany. Like Lewandowski, Sande, Gnabry.
Müller. What are they doing now?
Not even Müller. just saying who the person is. I think that's a big part of how German announcers.
Müller, zu Müller,
yeah,
zu dem dritten Müller, zu dem vierten Müller, schon zu der ersten Müller,
zurück zu
der ersten Müller,
wieder zum ersten. Yeah, who's on first? Right.
To Müller, to the second Müller. Oh, he's passing up to that third Müller. Oh, he's going back to the first Müller. There's a fourth Müller coming down the right. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So let me just say that the grass ain't always greener. Cool. Any last thoughts as we dissected the American voice? And this is for the league. It's for you guys. Hire these guys. And also in the comments. Yeah. In the comments, talk to me, guys. Like, I know it's very subjective. So, like, who do you guys like? Who were we wrong on? What we were right about? That was just a Schnitzel Boys video on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. If you like that one, we've got a couple other ones right over here. And if you like that one, don't be afraid to subscribe, like, and ring that bell. Oh! Yeah!
It's the Schnitzel Boys, it's the Schnitzel Boys, it's the Schnitzel Boys.